It all starts off with inflammation. And this isn't the kind of stuff that you could just throw an Advil at and be okay, because Advil messes with your pancreas and your liver and your kidneys. So we're going to talk about some ways that we can take an alternative approach to inflammation. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Meditation. I am Ann Morrison, and this is Ascension Studios. So inflammation, it's a booger. Basically, what happens is your body thinks something's going haywire, so it's trying to fix it. It's trying to help you out. And it sends in a bunch of blood that can carry chemicals from one receptor to another receptor and can kind of soften and cushion the blow. Like you were jumping off a building, you would want a great big old cushion at the bottom, or you would die. And that's what your body is actually doing with inflammation. 2,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, whenever it was. That is what would happen when you got hurt or something messed with you, or your body was dealing with something that was not right in its digestive system. Your body would turn on inflammation responses until it got everything to the right place to figure out and then decide what it is that it needed, and then it would get what it needed and it would turn off inflammation response. Today, we go so fast, so long, and then we stop and we dip and we look, and inflammation continues. If you don't give your brain a break for your body to register that it is supposed to stop this process, it will continue. And as a person who's had allergies her whole life, I can tell you that you feel inflammation. I do in my sinuses, and I did with the fibromyalgia and the chronic fatigue syndrome and the lupus. You feel inflammation. And inflammation is the core of things breaking down if you can't stop the system from the inflammation response. If you are constantly getting the input of allergens and your body hasn't built up any kind of immunity response to them, then you are constantly in a state of inflammation, and a constant state of inflammation is going to cause physical problems in your body. And if you deal with it and the pain and the uncomfortableness that it causes, you are taking drugs. And these drugs act upon your internal organs and create long-term damage, some of which I'm dealing with in my ripe old age of 56. Everything from the pain meds to the antidepressant meds that they gave me when they were trying to diagnose me the first time, and the Adderall for the ADHD, and Excedrin, and Advil, and you name it. I did what every American did. I tried to take a pill, move on, and keep going because my life didn't have a stopping place, a stopping point. There was no downtime. There was crash, and that was about it. And so many people are still living that. But the society is changing, and inflammation being one of the culprits, and a totally natural response that is there to help us, we can't get rid of it because we need it. If I were to fall and break my leg, I would want an inflammation response. I would. Keeps me from going into shock, I believe. Not a medical doctor. Anyway, so my choices are to have the inflammation response, or to use the drugs to get rid of the inflammation response and create a long-term problem later on with one of my internal organs, like the gallbladder I no longer have. There are many options for pills. What people don't tell you is there is the option of managing your own physiology with your brain. You know, an inflammation response immediately takes the cell and engorges it with blood. And then all sorts of stuff happens, and I can't remember all of it, but if you look up, you will find videos on YouTube about it, and it's really pretty amazing. But I don't want to live an inflammation response every single day that is not snowing or raining. So I have figured out a way that helps me, and it doesn't get rid of it all. It doesn't. But what it does do is it helps to calm down the allergies, and it helps to calm down the inflammation, which stops destruction in my physiology. And it's pretty simple. We're going to do it in today's meditation. And I could use it today. How about you? Some days we just have those days where we know it's pill or suffer. And for me, it's one of those days. So the first thing I'm going to try is this technique. And I get about a 70% response with this technique. If I can get to a place where I am not taking drugs for inflammation and I am calming my own inflammation, what I am doing is creating a more healthy atmosphere for the rest of my body to run. And that's a good thing. Then it can digest the nutrients that it needs. Now balanced hormones can create an efficiently functioning metabolism, and I can go forward thinking and acting and moving clearly. And it's wonderful. When you've lost it, you understand just how absolutely wonderful that is. So, we're going to start off down here in sacral. Somewhere, see, sacral, lower abdomen. So it looks like we're going to have to do solar for the pancreas. And root for the adrenals. And heart for the thymus. Thyroid. Hey, brow and forehead. I don't know if that's really all that pineal. No, I mean, yeah, pineal has to do with inflammation responses too. And pituitary. All of the different chakras have to do with a piece that is involved in the inflammatory response in our body from anything that gets us into the state of needing an inflammatory response. So we're going to start at the bottom, and we're going to move to the top and go that way. Okay. Root chakra, bare feet on the ground. Let yourself be grounded into the earth. Be part of the conversation of all of us particle bound. Carry it up through all the different chakras. For all of these pieces, they're working together, make a really good functioning system. Open yourself up to wisdom and love and the download of the next step. Feel it all harmonizing together. The song of your life in vibrational sense. Let's go into our mind palace. Calm the tornado. Calm the tornado. We're going to see a hologram of a visualization of our physicality, our vehicle in front of us. And we're going to be able to see through it and work in all of the different places that you can't see when we are simply in our vehicle. And I can see that up there in the sinuses, I have some blockages and some pressure. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to open up a couple of areas for the pressure to dissipate through my sinuses. I can see that my sinuses are enlarged with inflammation. And give them a squeeze. Like a sponge, I'm going to squeeze that extra blood response out so that it doesn't have to find a way to release itself. Okay, it's affecting my ears, which will affect my balance. So squeeze some inflammation out there. In the neck. I have some inflammation back here. Squeeze that out. Let's go down. I have some inflammation around my hips. Let's squeeze that out. And my lower back. Okay. I have a little bit of inflammation in my knees. Let's squeeze those out. Squeeze them out. Then allow the whole system to drain and release. Breathe into not being swollen anywhere. Breathe into your body not needing an inflammation response at this moment at all, and not having one. All of those root causes, you know what they are. Let's breathe into our body, not having those today. Now, instead of just doing nots, let's do some positives. I'm going to breathe into my healthy state. I'm going to breathe into a body that has had downtime to process the end of an inflammation response. I'm going to breathe into the flow that is releasing all that extra swelling that's not needed. I am going to feel myself vital and alive and healthy, happy, competent, flexible, movable, bendable, usable. And I'm going to see myself using my body to do something I'd like to do. Hike up a mountain, go swimming, snorkel in the ocean, ride a bike, whatever it is that you desire. And I see myself doing it in a healthful, happy, vibrant, energized, vital way. Everything is just clicking along like clockwork. It is so beautiful. So beautiful. I'm going to come back up to the crown. Allow the download for today, the wisdom, the love. Feel all my chakras vibrating at the right frequencies, harmonizing with each other in a beautiful way. With everything working at prime optimization. Because in the end, as you come back to us, remember, we are what we think and we are what we say. If you're going to speak a reality into your life, let it be one you want. Namaste.